Hi, and welcome to Social Smarts, a podcast about the why and how to make good decisions about social media. I'm Agnes, and I've worked at some of the top tech and social companies in the world on trust and safety issues, education, communications, policy, and more. I also have a nephew, and he's the real reason that we're here today. He's the apple of my eye. And as he gets older, I've made a point to educate him about social media do's and don'ts, and the why. Ultimately, I want him to become as knowledgeable as possible so that he can make informed decisions now and as he gets older. But I realize that most kids don't have an Aunt Agnes that can do this for them. So that's why I'm here. Let's do this. This is episode 1. Let's start at the beginning. Why can't you have your own social media account until you're 13? Let's break this down into 3 parts: legal stuff, logistics, and learning stuff. On the legal stuff. Why 13? There's a law. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, is a federal law designed to protect the privacy of children, 13 and under, by regulating the collection of personal information from minors. And 13's kind of an international norm. It aligns with other laws like the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, in the European Union, as well as the UK Data Protection Act. Those are only 2 regions, though, and there are lots of countries that have these types of regulations. Why 13? Why not 12 or 10 or 15 or 16 or any other age for that matter? This is a bit more interesting. It's a little bit of nature and a little bit of nurture. On the nature end of things, some of it comes down to perceived development milestones, maturity and reasoning. And on the nurture end of things, there's this assumption that parents or others may have provided guidance by the time you reach 13. Let's move on to logistics. Making an app is hard. When you layer on laws like COPPA, it basically means that you need to have a separate experience for people that are under 13. And this means more work for a company, more compliance, more regulation, more people to hire. And it's why most apps are designed for only one experience, for people over 13. If a company wants to build an international app, and of course, social media apps by and large are all around the world, it's easier and more cost-effective to develop something that can be used everywhere. So aligning to 13 makes business sense. It's the common age for a lot of regulation. How do they know your age? Until you get a driver's license, most people don't have a form of government identification. That makes it challenging for companies to verify age. That's why they ask for your birthday. And you should always, always, always be truthful about your birthday. There is a reason that these different experiences exist, and having your correct birthday input will help put you into the experience that was actually designed for the stage that you're at. And remember, all of your friends are at the same place, so you are exactly where you should be. Let's get into some of the learning. Why does collecting information matter? Apps collect a lot of data. This information can be used to target ads to you. Depending on the app, they could also sell your data if you don't opt out. Today, we'll discuss a few categories of data collection. There's a lot more, but for today, what type of info is personal information? Well, there are things like your full name, your address, your username, your phone number, your email address, which are often used for multi-factor authentication. But also there's your birthday. There's your gender, language preferences, location, IP address, and more. If you are buying stuff online, there's payment information that can be stored on your device or also within a certain app. When you move into social media, there's a whole other level. And these include your contact list, which are contacts for your friends, including their email addresses, their phone numbers in some cases, or other things like that. And then once you're in the app, things like the people that you connect with, your friends, your liked content, photos or videos that you might have uploaded or liked, your camera roll, your microphone, your chats, comments. Maybe this doesn't sound like it's a big deal. But it's a lot of information. And that information can be used to help deliver ads or content to you now. It could also be sold or otherwise help somebody else, some other company target you online, but it also shows up in real life too. Why do companies collect this stuff? We can break this down into business and function. Apps are businesses like any other, so they need to make money. They need to pay their team to produce the app, to run it. So they sell ads that target their users. But on the function end of things, some of this information collected is intended to make your life easier. And the side effect happens to be that it helps with ad or content targeting. For example, if you want to chat or find your friends online, having your contacts uploaded in the app makes it easier. If you want to quickly post something, having access to your camera roll for photos or video is helpful. If you're recording audio, you need to have the microphone connected. But it's still giving and gaining a lot of access to personal stuff, which you may not be thinking about or aware of how that can be used in the long term. Let's discuss content a little bit more. Because of COPPA, the content in apps are made for people that are 13 and older. It's not intended for kids under 13. It's kind of like movie ratings. You've heard of PG-13, right? Think of that as being a bar for social media. But with movie ratings, there's more than just PG-13. There are lots of other ratings that are out there that help your parents and you decide what's appropriate or good to see. With social media, once you cross that gate, it doesn't separate between things that are for older people or younger ones. For most apps, it's just a giant mixed bag of stuff for you to wade through. Though Instagram just announced a more separated experience. I get it. You think you know what to look out for. There's lots of content, and some of it can take you down rabbit holes. So you need to learn to look at things, ask questions, and be critical. Not everything you see online is real. I know you know this, and people have lots and lots of reasons for putting things out there. So you need to think about that too. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is communication and why it's regulated. You all know that you can communicate with other people via chat, comment, DM, and in some cases, you can even have live voice conversations. It's great if you want to chat with your friends that you know in real life or your family. But depending on your settings, apps can open doors to people that you don't know. And that's a whole can of worms, which we'll get into in another episode. So what's the big takeaway? Social media is here to stay. It's probably been part of your life since you were born. So it's important to understand how it works, why people post things, how to look at content, and why you need to be careful. You have to be 13 to sign up for an account, and it's because of laws that set 13 as a baseline. You'll be 13 soon enough. You might be 13 already, but either way, you can talk to your parents about this. Until then, some apps do have kids' experiences. These take COPPA into consideration, and you can still have great age-appropriate content, but no targeting or personal information collection or communication, like comments, DMs, or chats. And that's a good thing. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on that parents or aunts like me get worried about. And this is why we're talking about this stuff, so that you have the knowledge and tools to make good decisions. I hope you learned something. Until next time, you got this.